Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video I would like us to talk about a level transmitter, specifically a vegapuls 31, which is a radar level transmitter from Vega. We're gonna use this BMX MC6 calibrator to power up the device, but what I want us to have a look is the setup of that instrument. Alright, before we go through the setup, I just want us to have a look at a typical installation, how this level transmitter is going to be installed. For today's application, we're going to look at liquids, but it's going to be a similar setup even if you install it on a solid or on a vessel that contains solids. But let's look at how this thing would be installed in a real world. Alright, let's have a look at the image in front of us. There on top, LIT is going to be this level transmitter. Meaning it's going to be installed on top of the vessel. Vessel is a tank, same thing as a tank, but it can be an open vessel, closed vessel, and so on. It can be a sump, it can be a band wall. You can use this level transmitter to measure level, but let's just, for simplicity, let's stick to an example of a tank. Here's a tank. Let's say my tank is filled up with water. So when the tank is empty, this radar transmitter, which we're going to talk about, is transmitting or is generating radar waves. That's why it's called radar. And then those radar waves are going to travel all the way until they hit the bottom of the tank, and then they return to the level transmitter. That time, the time it takes for the radar waves to travel from the transmitter and back, is called time of flight. Time of flight. So when the vessel is empty, it means the distance is longer. The distance the radar waves are going to travel is longer. Whereas if we fill up the vessel with water, the water is going to go all the way to the top, and then the distance the radar waves are going to have to travel is going to be shorter. I use this arrow to indicate that. So now, sometimes we can just use a tape measure. Let's say this tank is 1.5 meter long, or it has a height of 1.2 meters, 1.5 meters or 2 meters. So we can measure from the top where the installation to the bottom, and then we can keep that value aside because we're going to use it when we calibrate our level. And then we also can fill up the water to the brim, or we decide that we want our vessel, we'll consider it full at this point, because some vessel you can put an overflow pipe here. So your full won't be full to the brim, but will be there. And then you say, okay, at this point we are full. So from there to there is our full value. We keep that value aside because that value is going to be very important when we set up. Those are the two most important values when it comes to level transmitter calibration, especially the radar and the ultrasonic. Let's return to the instrument now. I'm sure you understand the concept. It's going to become more clearer when we start doing the setup. Okay, back to my instrument. Let's just wait for it to start up. I hope it stays there. Okay, let's just keep this warning. So usually we're just gonna use this device communicator. We go to HUD, and then it tells us which ports to use in this calibrator, and then we just say okay at the bottom. But this is not that important. Any milliamp source can be used, be it a Druk calibrator, a Fluke 789 milliamp source or process meter can be used, and so on. So now coming to the instrument, the most important thing to understand here is these buttons. Okay, these buttons are called, this one you can use it as more like as an enter button, the one in the middle. Okay, let me just make my instrument face somewhere else. The one in the middle is like an enter button. This is like your up and your down. So when you are back at the main menu, let's just try to go back to the main menu quickly. Let's just say solids, this and that. Back. So let's say you are back to the main menu. This is your main menu. Oh, sorry. Let's just sort out something quickly. I think my cable is just disconnected. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to connect my BMX to a power supply. The battery was getting low. So I hope now it stays on. So I was saying we can use the communicator and connect with the device. So at the moment the device is just showing an error. That error is because it's blocked, you see. so it's facing a surface. So now that distance is too much. Let me just say, if I try to make my distance, my instrument face somewhere else, let's just go to, just see if we can clear it. You see now it's reading 110. Sorry guys, I'm using my phone to take a video at the same time I'm using this thing. Let's just cancel there. But yeah, we are getting to the settings now. So this is back to the main menu. At the main menu, it's just gonna be showing a reading like this, which is your level. Ne? So you're gonna use this button as an enter, up and down. So let's press enter. You choose the type of media I'm using. We are using liquids now, which is water. So we don't need to change this value. But should we need, we can just enter here and then go up or down. You understand? But now, because you are happy with that, we can just stick to liquids. Then the next setting is the type of vessel. Let's say your vessel is clear, or it's clear water, there's no agitator or stirrer. This one is a stirred vessel, meaning we say there's an agitator. You can select other options. That is the application. Same process, you can enter and change. Sometimes you're not going to get all the options you want, but you can select whichever option is more suitable for your application. Ne? Next parameter is the unit. We get meters, inches, millimeters, foot, and so on. We can skip that one. The next one is the maximum adjustment. The maximum adjustment, let's enter that one quickly. If you look closer, it's pointing us to the full value, meaning it's the value we measured when our vessel was full. So it's from the top of, or where the LIT is installed, to the top, or to the full level, which is when my water level is full. You can change this value, because this value corresponds with your 100%. It also corresponds with your 20 milliamps. Okay, all right, we don't want to change it. We're just gonna say okay, that's just the sign. You can say okay until we get to the end. Then it takes us back to the menu, and then we move over to the next setting. The next setting that is important here is the minimum adjustment, which is your empty. Like I showed you when I was showing the drawing, that's the bottom, the distance from the top of the, or from the level LIT to the bottom of the vessel. That is your 0. This value corresponds to your 0. It also corresponds to your 4 milliamp. Okay, let's not enter that one. Let's just move to the next one, and then that's the end. But now it's got extended adjustment, which is other parameters that you can have a look at. Let's just go through it quickly. Under extended, this is you decide if you want to display the value in percentages or in height. Okay, we don't want to change that for now. The scaling, let's enter quickly there. You can decide if you want volume, or you want meters, cubic meters, inches, those kind of things, gallons, liters, and okay, you can see that this is not something we're interested in. We're just gonna cancel this, and then we move over to the next one. English is straightforward. Okay, you can we can connect to this instrument using Bluetooth, so this code must match the code on your app or on your phone when you connect. It's straightforward. You understand that one? Okay, let's move over to the next one. You can protect. If you activate this value, it means you are password protecting your device, meaning no one can change values unless they know the password. But we don't have a password protection now, so it's deactivated. And then yeah, I think after extended setup, let's just go past this one, just back. After extended setup, I saw something with diagnostics. If there's errors or faults or warnings in your instrument, you're gonna see them here. All right, this is an older version of a Vega LIT, which is a radar, threaded type, the parameters of the voltage, the pressure conditions that can use it for, and then the output is 4 to 20 milliamps and so on. All that information. But now Vega is already running a different series. I think it's a Vega Bar 82, Vega Pulse. Sorry, it's a Vega Pulse 82. No, not 82. It's a Vega Pulse 67 or 6X. Vega Pulse 6X. That's the latest one. But the same principles are gonna apply. That Vega Pulse 6X will probably have new features and additional parameters, and maybe a new technology, more accuracies, and other features. But this is still a very good LIT. It's very strong. It was built to last. So yeah, okay, thank you guys for watching my video. If you have got any questions, please leave them under the comment section. As you can see, under normal circumstances, we're going to put a proper landmark here, and then we close our PleaseCom and we close our LIT. But thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, and share the video with anyone who will find it beneficial. Thank you so much. Goodbye.